Hey everyone, today we're testing 5 of the most popular AI coding tools: Lovable, Bolt, V0, Replit, and Tempo. I'm giving each tool the exact same prompt to create a niche job directory, and we'll see which one produces the best UI mockup. Now this all isn't just for show. I actually took my favorite UI from this experiment, refined it in Cursor, and built a real product MVP. You can check out the finished site in the description below. Now, just a few quick things before we dive into the prompt. I've used Lovable, Bolt, and V0 before, but prior to this video, I'd never used Replit or Tempo. You'll notice those sections run longer in this video because I was learning the tools live while also sharing my thoughts. Now, all 5 of these AI coding tools are impressive in their own ways. And although I rank the UIs at the end, that doesn't mean that one tool is better than the other. What worked for my specific job directory prompt might not work for your project. So I encourage you to try all the tools and see which one fits your needs best. I'll be judging purely on UI design quality, filtering functionality, and how close each resembles my design inspiration and prompt instruction. Alright, so let's do this. This idea was inspired by Riley's recent video where he compared Cursor, Lovable, Windsurf, Bolt, Replit, and V0. Shout out to Riley, keep up the great work. So today we're going to use Lovable, we're going to use Bolt, Replit, V0. I've actually never used Replit before, just signed up for it. I'm also going to give the same prompt to Tempo, which shout out to Ras Mike, one of my favorite developer YouTubers out there. I do have to sign up for Tempo, I'm signed up for Replit, and I have Bolt, Lovable, and V0 accounts already. And so, for our prompt today, the same prompt that we're going to give to all these tools, it says, I want to create a job directory for Java AI jobs. All jobs must require Java as the main skill, along with any AI development skills related to LLMs, RAG, prompt engineering, generative AI. This is some context. Most Java jobs require Python, but I know as AI advances, Java will penetrate the market, and this directory will be needed. At least that's what I think and hope. We'll see. So there is a developer relations directory, which let me show that real quick. And it's pretty cool. A very simple directory. You have all of your jobs here. You have your filters. And if you click on a job, it goes to the job details page where you can save it. You can have more information about the company. Here's a job description. Scroll to the bottom, you have more related jobs. And if you want to apply for the position, you have to log in and sign up. So in my prompt, I'm basically saying this is our inspiration. Let's just focus on homepage with job listings, the job detail, and filtering. I'm open to your expertise in making our directory the best for our users. Down here, I'm saying use React with TypeScript, Tailwind CSS for styling, implement the best practices for SEO. So I know that I need to use Next.js for its out-of-the-box SEO functionality. I'm just going to say React with TypeScript and let the AI coding tool figure out what to use, whether that's a Vite or Next.js. Try to populate our directory with test data. And then down here, it says we'll be using the Supabase in the future. Up to you if we need to connect it now. I think just getting the mockup would be great first and DB later. So this is still the prompt from Manus. I should remove this because we don't want to connect now, but I think the AI coding tools will get the point that we do not want to do database work. So this entire prompt, I pasted it into Lovable and Bolt already before I started recording. And let's go and check out those tools. So you can see over here in Bolt, I did attach the 3 developer relations screenshots. This is the first screenshot. The second one shows more of the filters, and the third one shows the job details page. This is the exact prompt that I was just showing you. And then this is what Bolt said. I'll help you create a modern job directory focused on Java AI jobs. Based on the DevRel careers example, I'll create a similar but specialized platform. So Bolt did its thing, and it immediately ran into some issues, unfortunately. So what we're going to do here is just we're going to click attempt fix. All right, so it looks like Bolt fixed the issue. It fixed one of the issues. Now it has one more terminal issue. However, we can see the UI. So let's see over here what we have. Java AI jobs. Okay, so it looks pretty decent. We have a job here. Can we click it? We cannot click it. Well, we can click it, but nothing shows. So it did not implement the job details page. Can we go back? Okay, can I click on this one? Okay, so job details page is not filled out. Can we search for jobs? Does this filter? Engineer. Okay, so filtering works. Can we use this filtering? Okay, we have tags here. So the filtering and the tags work. However, I cannot see anything in job details. As far as looks, pretty basic. I mean, this technically will work. Like, this is decent. This isn't amazing or anything like that, but this will get the job done. And I do think it looks pretty clean. We don't want to leave with any errors. So let's say attempt fix. Okay, so that error was fixed. Let's see if anything changed in the application. Can I go into job details? I still can go, but there's nothing that shows. And looks like everything else works pretty much the same. Post job goes to nothing. Browse jobs goes to nothing. So good job to Bolt, but this can be a lot better. I feel like Lovable is going to do a better job, which actually I did kind of see the preview and it did. So I'll rank all of the apps at the end of this video. Let's see what Lovable did for us. All right, so check this out. Okay, before we get into the UI, I just want to show you, I gave the exact same prompt to Lovable and the exact same screenshots. So this is the DevRel screenshot number 1, number 2, and number 3. One thing that I really like about Lovable is that I feel like Lovable has a little more empathy for when I create applications, because before Lovable actually starts generating code, it kind of like validates my idea. See here, it says, I'm excited to create a Java AI Jobs Hub. This project will particularly be useful as AI continues to expand into Java development. So number one, it's kind of validating my idea and saying, hey, this is actually a pretty cool idea, and I agree that it could be something. Another thing it does is it will always say, taking inspiration from this site, I'll build a clean, modern directory. It says, I'll use a clean color palette centered around purple blue tones that feel modern and tech-focused with a simple, intuitive user interface. So it actually explains how it's thinking of design. In other apps that I've built with Lovable, it'll say something like, I'll generate a clean UI based off Apple design principles or based off the Nike website design or something like that. So I really love how Lovable, number one, has a little more personality injected after your first prompt, and number two, it gives you a look into what they're thinking about as far as design goes. So after Lovable said that, then it pretty much went to work and created this beautiful UI. So let's get into this. So let me pop this out into a new window. So here is the Lovable one-shot Java AI jobs directory. First of all, love the kind of purple tones. I actually like how there's this box around AI. It's kind of like when you watch those social media videos when you have the captions. The captions highlight each word that's being spoken, Java, and then AI, boom, and AI is emphasized. So really like that. Not sure if that's what they intended, but I think that's a cool little touch. So these buttons over here don't go anywhere, which I actually like that. Like in Bolt, it had buttons and I would click those buttons and then it would just go to a blank page, which I think if you're not going to implement the page on the other side of a button, then don't take me anywhere, you know? So another point for Lovable there. So now we have this nice hero section. Your next Java AI job awaits. Find specialized AI positions. So very nice subtitle here that will immediately hook in somebody looking for a Java AI job. Then we have two cards over here: post jobs, sign up, browse jobs, create alert. This obviously will need to get fixed. Scrolling down here, really cool. We can even enter our email address here to get job alerts. And here is the main view of all the jobs. Very clean, very, very clean. I do like how the filtering looks and how this list of job cards looks. Can we search? Can we search, let's say, engineer? Okay, so we actually have to click search, which it does search. You see developer. So search works, pretty cool. This filtering within the search, I'm not sure if it works 100%. So if I do remote, it does give me remote positions. Oh no, but it actually also gives me this position, which is not remote. So this doesn't quite work, which that's okay. More filters doesn't do anything. Before we get into this filtering, let's go into the job details page. Wow, check this out. This is legit. This looks good, guys. This is pretty much looking like our developer relations reference mockup. Here's the job: AI solutions, San Francisco, remote, salary, full-time. I love these pill boxes here for the technologies that are in the job description or that are required for this job description. About the job, responsibilities, apply. By the way, this footer section is really, really good. Links, home, browse, post, about us, and contact information. Share this job, website, LinkedIn. This is really good. I think this job details page is pretty much perfect. So let's go back to listings and let's check on the filtering over here. So let's do part-time. Do we have any part-time jobs? Nothing happened. Remote, okay. Nothing happens. So let's try to filter by location. Austin. Okay, so the filtering on this side doesn't quite work. What I expect to happen is if I type in a keyword like LLM, this list should automatically update. Or if I click on RAG, this list should update with all the RAG jobs. So Lovable right now, I love the overall design. It looks modern, it's very clean, and they did a fantastic job of the job details page, which they pretty much nailed this page. Some of the cons is the filtering on this side doesn't work. Filtering over here doesn't work perfectly. It kind of works. For example, it can't quite search for Europe only. So that is something to fix. I do love how they have this section to enter your email as well. So that's Lovable. Let's get on to V0. Okay, so here we are in V0. Let's go ahead and copy my prompt. Now paste. I've also just uploaded the screenshots from the developer relations directory, and now let's click on enter. Okay, so let's see what we have over here. So now V0 is thinking. You can actually expand this to see what it's thinking. It says, I'll create a job directory focused on Java AI positions, similar to the DevRel career site you shared. Let's build a modern SEO-friendly job board using Next.js and TypeScript with Tailwind CSS. Okay, so it looks like V0 is done. So I do like what I see here. Your next Java AI job awaits. I'm not sure why, but this happened in Lovable too. They just can't nail the text against this white button over here. But we have employers, job seekers, and okay, so we have job alerts, which this is kind of a bulky little section over here. I'm not sure if I like how much space this takes up over here, but it just seems a little bulky for me. I'm going down. We have the job list. Can we click? We can click. So did you see that? We clicked into it and it brought us to the bottom of the page, which that is not good. And I can't go back. I think I have to just refresh. No. Okay. So how do I go back? Can I click this? Okay. So let's try this again. I'm going to click on this job. Yeah, it brings me to the bottom of the page, which it needs to bring us to the top. But the job details page looks great. Look at this. So have all the details here. We have our pills, job description, website, example domain. That's pretty cool. I appreciate the placeholder domain. Apply for this position, doesn't do anything. And you can share. Post a job. Does this do anything? Post a job goes right back to the home page. Job details page. This looks pretty good. I mean, I think V0 nailed the job details page. Going back to the main screen. Does filtering work? Filtering engineer. Okay, so you do have to click apply, and no, it doesn't work. Let's say specialist. Does this work? No, it doesn't work. Do these filters work? Remote okay, apply. Okay, so it looks like the filtering does not work. NLP, yeah. So filtering doesn't work. It also says one of two, which we don't have a way to go to the second page. Now let's go to another job. Again, it brings me to the bottom of the page. Okay, so for V0, I do like the overall UI. Nice dark blue color theme. I'm not a big fan of this card over here, how kind of bulky this looks in my opinion. Filtering does not work, and the job details page, although it brings you to the bottom of the page, as far as the contents and overall design of the job details page, I'm happy with it. Also, V0 did a great job with the footer, the premier Java board for Java AI developers, browse jobs, submit, job alerts, post a job, pricing, about us, blog, social handles here. So I really like how this footer has a little more information than Lovable's footer. Okay, so that was V0. Let's move on to Replit. So here we are in Replit. As you can see, this is my very first time using Replit, which I'm pretty excited. I've heard great things about Replit and I've always wanted to try it. So today is an exciting day. So let's fill out my name, personal use. Okay, so let's go with starter, start creating. So here is the Replit main screen. Let's go get my prompt. Copy it over here. Okay, so this is cool. I just pasted the prompt and Replit automatically realized that the prompt has a link. And what is this? Take screenshot? What does this do? Taking a screenshot. So I guess it's taking a screenshot of the homepage. Oh, wow. Cool. That's cool. So it took a screenshot of the page. Very nice, Replit. Get text context. So what does this do? So this looks like it crawled the page and just took out all of the text from the website. That's a really cool feature. But just to be fair, we're going to just exit both of those, and just like in the other tools, we're going to drag the screenshots. So there are our screenshots, prompts looking good. Let's click on start. Okay, so while Replit is working, I'm going to go over to Tempo. Let's log into Tempo. I don't have an account, so Tempo wants me to log in with GitHub. Okay, so let's log in with GitHub. All right, so we have authorization. So we are in Tempo. Let's go back to Replit, see how it's doing. Okay, so this is something that Replit does. It comes up with a plan. Let's see. I've created a plan for your Java AI job directory that mirrors the functionality of DevRel careers while focusing on Java AI. The MVP will include job board features with mock data and will prepare it for future Supabase integration. Would you like to review the plan and proceed? Yes. Okay, so yes, build a prototype. Would you like any of these additional features? Okay, so it's suggesting some features. Supabase integration, job alert, company profiles, and posting capabilities. So I do appreciate that it's asking me for these features, but I'm just going to click on approve just to stay as close as we can to my initial prompt. So approve. I'm digging the UI of Replit. I do like this deep purple color, and I like how there's this purple border around the working window that's kind of blinking, kind of pulsating. Let's let Replit do its thing and go over back to Tempo. So what I want to do here is generate an app. You can select the framework over here, which is pretty cool. Off. Okay, if you want to select your authentication. So that's a really cool thing about Tempo, is that they make it really easy to mix and match your tech stack. So like if you want to use Next.js, you can. With Supabase, you can choose Supabase, and then if you want to use Stripe for payments, you can use Stripe and then click Setup. So I'll refresh the page, and the default framework is Vite. We're going to use Vite because Vite is what Lovable uses, and I believe it's what Bolt used as well by default. Bolt did use Vite for its application. Lovable too, you can go into the code now, which is a recent feature, and see. So yes, Lovable used Vite as well, so it is only fair to use Vite with Tempo also. So before we get into this prompt, let's check back on Replit. Replit has run into an issue. So Replit installed dependencies, integrating with shadcn. It is trying to run the application on the terminal. So it's pretty cool that the Replit agent iterates upon its errors. It sees errors, it tries to fix it. It sees errors, it tries to fix it. So it looks like, okay, so, oh, all right. The agent needs your feedback. It's the first thing I noticed. Can you check the job board homepage? Does it load correctly with the search bar filters and job listings? So one thing I do like about Replit right now is that it feels like more of a conversation. In Bolt and Lovable, it's more like, here's your task, and then Lovable and Bolt will do the task. Here it's like, okay, here's your task, and then Replit engages saying, okay, here's my plan. Then I say, yes, go ahead with doing it. Replit goes to work and then says, hey, looks like I'm done. Can you check it real quick? I do like this flow. I do like this flow with Replit. So let's see what we have. Let's pop this out. Okay, so here we have Replit's version of the Java AI job directory. Not really happy with how this looks. This looks very boring, to say the least. Let's see, does filtering work? Engineer. So it makes you think like it's working, but it's not. Developer. You see, it kind of has the skeleton loading effect to make it think like it's loading, but nothing's actually filtering. So filtering here doesn't work. I do like how it's an instant filter without having to click a button, but it doesn't work. So let's see, does this work? If I do rag, then one of them should show, but it doesn't show. The filters are there, but the filtering does not work. Check on the job details page. Okay, so I feel like Replit kind of just got lazy. Replit is like, okay, well, here's the bare minimum of what the page will look like, and I'm just going to stop there. So pretty plain. Apply now goes to this fake website. We do have a few details. We don't even have a footer. There's no like share button. There's no company information. So pretty bare bones. Let's go back here. Yeah, no footer. So I would stop here, but Replit is asking me for feedback. So let's give it some feedback and see what happens. Everything loads correctly. However, the filters don't work and entire app looks bland, boring. The job details page lacks fruitful information. Let's give one more prompt to Replit just because it asked for feedback. Now let's go back to Tempo. Here in Tempo, let us grab my prompt, copy my prompt, give the same exact prompt. Kind of wish that this text area, we can either drag it to see more, or this was a lot bigger so we can see more text. So if I wanted to review my prompt and it's long, I kind of have to do a lot of scrolling. That's just my opinion. We do need to attach some images. So let's attach the, okay, so I can't drag and drop. I cannot drag and drop. This experience is not as seamless as the others so far. So I actually have to go into my file system and click open on the screenshots. So it's loading the screenshots. All right, I'm excited, Tempo. Let's do this. Let's click on next. So, okay, wow. Whoa, a lot going on right now. Generated PRD. Whoa. This is my first time using Tempo. This is a lot going on. It looks cool. It looks really cool. But like, where do my eyes go right now? I've got like a pop-up happening on the right-hand side. We have like some mermaid diagram action happening on the left. The agent is running. So I don't know, like, I'm excited, but I don't know where to focus, where to look right now. Let's look over here. Generated a PRD, generating a mermaid diagram. So that's pretty cool. I'm a visual kind of guy. I like learning visually. So definitely think that's a really cool feature about Tempo. Now it's saying creating wireframes based on the PRD and mermaid diagram. If you delete all the generated wireframes, you'll be able to click to regenerate. Okay, so wireframe spec, creating routes, generating job card. So I do like the methodical approach that it's showing, where, you know, let's get our requirements down. Let's have a diagram. Can I click on this? When you click here, it says storyboard. If you wanted to use some of the storyboard as context in your prompt, you just click it, and then over here it says storyboard. So let's leave Tempo to do its thing. Let's see what Replit responded to us. Okay, I've updated the design in the job details page. Could you check if the application looks better now and if the filters are working? Okay, open a new tab. Okay, so all Replit did was just add this kind of light purple shade amongst everything. Can I at least filter now? Okay, filtering doesn't work. Engineer, filtering doesn't work here. Filtering work here? No. Doesn't work. Job details page, it like shrunk into this card. I don't remember what it had before, but it still looks very bare bones. Not happy. Not happy with how Replit responded to my requests to make this better. Back over here, I do think this is also, to me, kind of busy. I might have to get used to it. You know, I have this message open in a new tab. I mean, I guess that's helpful. You have a deploy kind of bar here. Then theme, like what is theme? Okay, so you can actually change colors. Nice. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's like an ugly kind of green. Vibrant tint. Okay, so these are kind of like, I feel like I'm on Instagram going through different filters right now. Professional. You can set the shape on, I think, card elements or buttons. So that's kind of cool. X that. And then there's like dev tools here with like a notification. Okay, so you can check on terminal errors. So this all kind of seems busy, but from what I understand, Replit is a more integrated tool where you can go from creating your web UI and going all the way to deploying it within the Replit interface. Whereas, for example, with Bolt and Lovable, you have to deploy on, say, Netlify or Vercel. There's a lot going on the UI, but I think, you know, it's okay because of how powerful Replit is. I do like the experience with the agent, how the agent was checking in with me, giving me a list of steps for its plan and asking me, hey, do you want to implement this before we actually start developing? So final thoughts on Replit as far as the task to generate a Java AI jobs directory. Not happy with how it looks, pretty bare bones. I feel like Replit's agents was kind of lazy in implementing the task. So overall, Replit did a good job. At least we can go to the job details page, right? But I'm just not a fan of how it looks. This is just my opinion. Do I think Replit did a better job than Bolt? Stay till the end, we'll see. So let's go back over to Tempo. So here we are in Tempo. Let's see what we have. Looks like it's done. We got a bunch of check marks. Where's my application? Okay, so up here we have PRD. All right, and then we have a nice mermaid diagram over here. Let's check this out. Okay, that looks good. Visual context. So what's add visual context do? Change the color to blue. Okay, so clicking this brings this up where I guess I could prompt over here. This is actually our application. So it has this zoomed out view of our application and you can select on the different pages. Can I draw something? Oh, okay, so this adds another page or another element to the application. All right, so I'm beginning to see how Tempo is working. This is really cool. Exit preview mode, enter preview mode. This is the PRD, and if I go to design, then this is a zoomed out level of all of the different elements and components of your application. So if we zoom in, you can see the different pages. I don't want to make any edits to the application right now because I want to see what it generated right off the bat. So let's go to code. You can see all the code here. This is just, where are the other files? Where are the other files? Home.tsx. Okay, I don't know where the rest of the code is. Maybe it's somewhere on the side here, but that's not important. I want to see this application. I want to see it work. So how do I see? Do I just double click here? Oh, okay. So whatever you click on in the design view, it'll show the code file. But how do I see my application? So there's a URL here. Can I click on that? Okay, preview and tap. So that's how to see the application. All right, cool. Look at this. So the first thing that comes to mind is there's a lot of features here. It looks well built out as far as content. It is very plain. There's no color or any kind of oomph to the design, but let's see what else we have. So we don't have jobs. Where are the jobs? I thought I saw some jobs. Filtering. All right, so your filters all get added to the end there. That's cool. Reset. Where are the jobs? Let's go back. So the jobs are here. Let's click preview and tab. So this goes to another page where the jobs are. Okay, so we have some cards here. Some of the pillboxes are overlapping outside of the card. View details. We can't view details. So again, this is my first time using Tempo, so I'm sorry if I don't know how to run things, but you know, I think as a user, a new user coming to your application, you should be able to figure things out on the go. But I can't figure out how to run the application. I see a URL here, but if I go to this, preview and it just goes to that page. And what if I click on this and click on that? So you can see the individual components. So this looks great. The pieces are there, the main page, the job cards, the job details. the filtering. This looks like the header, and this is a job card. So there is a play button up here. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I missed it. I missed that we have a button up here, which if you hover over it, it says view app in a new tab. What is this? View history. So history is a log of the past actions that Tempo did. So if I click play, then this should bring up the application. Okay, so it brought up the application, but I don't see any jobs. I don't see any jobs. Browse, employers, resources, about. Okay, now the buttons work. Can I search the jobs maybe? Developer, nothing. So we do have a nice header. We do have a nice search field over here, but we do have another search field over here. So that's kind of redundant. The footer looks good. Filters look good, but we just don't have any jobs. Yeah, that kind of sucks. DOM tree, assets, file selector. Okay, so this is where you can see all the code. Git settings. Okay, so you can connect to GitHub, history, design system, and then we can connect to Supabase or Figma. So guys, let me know in the comments, what am I missing here? I should be able to see this and this from somewhere in here, right? Is this a bug, or am I just crazy and not realizing how this all works? Because if you click play, view app, it brings me here, but I don't see anything. Let's just see if we can chat with Tempo. Where is the chat? Chat's over here. It's a little hard to see in dark mode. Let's say I see the job cards and job details in the, what is this, design? The design. However, when I into the app, there are no jobs to be found. Please show me the jobs and let me be able to click into the job to see job details. Let's send that over. Okay. So I clicked something by accident and I don't know why that came up. I don't know what I clicked. Then it said you have attempted to modify files. I didn't mean to modify the files. I'll fix the issue. Let me fix the issues with your app. So I fixed the issues. The main problems were fix the syntax error. So there was a syntax error. I'm not even sure that I saw any kind of error message or error logs anywhere. Fix the job detail view component, which had several typos. Corrected the job grid to properly filter and display jobs. Fix the footer component. Okay, so now you should be able to see all the job listings. Try clicking on the job card in the grid to see the detailed view. So let's play, and no jobs found. Okay, so that still doesn't work. Let's go here. Forward, back. What does forward and back do? Refresh, information. So let's go to preview and tab, and let's click details. The details doesn't go to anything. Am I just using this wrong, guys? How come it's not working? Looks like nothing was fixed. How am I supposed to run and view the application? Do I click view app in new tab? I click view app in new tab button at the top right corner. Not sure if I'm doing this correctly. So let's see if Tempo can guide me into the right direction. Fix the issues with your application, explain how to view it properly. Click view app in new tab button at the top right hand corner. This will open your application in a new browser tab. I fixed the syntax error in your app file where there was an issue with the JSX structure. After changes in the dev server restarts, you should be able to, canvas not found. What? Should be able to click on any job card to view, use the filters. Okay, so it just like refreshed this entire design. It's saying there's errors, but how do I know if there's any errors? Like, was there like a terminal view somewhere here? Here, this is the terminal right here. Oh yeah, in the code section. I guess they restarted the server and there's no terminal issues. Maybe a good feature would to be make the terminal sticky across different views, because like have the errors shown somewhere else where no matter which section I click on, I'll know there's an error. It's like Tempo's saying that I fixed a syntax error in app.tsx, but I have no idea that there's a syntax error. So I'm led to believe that the app just works. Anyways, it says it's fixed the syntax issue and it did refresh the design. Let's click on view app in new tab. Okay, so no jobs, guys. I think I've spent enough time on Tempo. Final thoughts on Tempo. I do love what they're trying to do. I love how it starts with the PRD. It's very methodical by starting with the documentation, and then it draws up this mermaid diagram. As someone who loves documentation and visual learning, this step is just outstanding. I do like how it had these steps over here to specify where it was at. As far as the UI goes, it looked pretty good. 2 search bars there, which I don't think is necessary. That the footers might be my favorite part of this generation, or the filtering. Filtering is actually really nice. I like how you can see the active filters there. However, I'm quite disappointed with not being able to see the jobs here. I could see the job details here. That looked great. I could see the cards here, which was not perfect, did not look too good with overlapping elements. But as far as our specific task in this video to generate a Java AI jobs directory using one prompt, I have to say, unfortunately, Tempo missed the mark. With all things considered, Tempo, I think they're off to a great start, and it might just be me and my lack of familiarity with this kind of interface, but it was just kind of hard to use, and the design was not as good as some of the previous tools that I've tried in this video. So great job to Tempo. I'm excited for the future because I definitely can see the potential in this interface that you're building out, and appreciate it. So now let's see who did the best in creating a Java AI jobs directory. So back over here in my prompt tool, I have all the AI coding tools and some notes on each of them. We're not going to rank Manus, but I just wanted to bring up Manus because Manus is fresh in my mind. I gave the same exact prompt yesterday. Manus the UI was not very good. The text was white. I couldn't really read anything without highlighting the text to read. Filtering did not work at all, and they had a job description page, but you couldn't even read the text. And it took about 25 minutes. So way too long for a very subpar result. Unfortunately, Manus just quite isn't there yet, despite all the hype. Maybe it's great at doing other things, but in creating a job directory with my requirements, it did not pass the test. So Manus goes all the way down here. I think the two best were Lovable and V0. Let me look at them one more time side by side. Lovable on the left, V0 on the right. V0 looks just super business and professional, which is great. Lovable is more like modern and fun and techy with like the purple vibes. Let's go open up the job details page. The job details pages on both are very, very close. Very, very close. Look at that. I think they really took into consideration very well the screenshots that I provided from the developer relations directory. Lovable has some responsive action going on. How about V0? Is V0 responsive? Okay, so V0 does have some responsive action going on. Very, very similar. I mean, I don't know. They're both really good. Both job details pages are really good. Let's go back to the home screen. I'm going to give the slight edge to Lovable. I think it's more modern, it's more fun, and it's just a little more pleasant of an experience to use. Whereas here, V0 did a great job as well, but this job alerts section really just bothers me. It's kind of clunky, kind of bulky, and gets in the way of the main experience on this page. Where in Lovable, they did have a job alert section, but it's just nice little thin card over here, non-obtrusive, where I can get into this page and get straight into looking at the jobs, and beautiful job page. Top spot goes to lovable.dev. Great job. So we're going to put Lovable up here, then V0. So now we come over to Tempo, Replit, and Bolt. So this is Bolt, this is Replit, and this is Tempo. So Bolt is, I do like it. Something about it, I like it. Even though they didn't have a job page, I mean, that's pulling Bolt down a lot, the lack of going to the job page. But as far as like just feel, right? All of this is subjective. This is just my opinion. You might agree or you might not, which is totally okay if you don't agree. Everyone has their own taste. Let's compare Bolt with Replit and then Bolt with Tempo. I'm just going to go off feel because it's kind of tough. Just looking at this page and looking at Replit, I would say Bolt has the edge over Replit. Even though the job details page didn't work, filtering does work, and it just looks and feels better than this. So I'm going to have Bolt higher than Replit. So now it's Replit against Tempo. This is Replit again, and then this is Tempo. So unfortunately, Tempo did not have any jobs at all, but I would say, based off looks alone, Tempo has the edge on Replit. Now, functionality wise, Replit didn't have any filtering working, neither did Tempo, but Replit did have a job details page. So this is tough because I do like Tempo's UI better, but technically Replit had more features than Tempo. So I'm going to say Tempo and Replit are in a tie. They are at a tie. Looking at Bolt again, although there was no job details page, I think the UI and its filtering actually working pulled itself well ahead of Replit and Tempo Labs. Moving up to V0, although the filtering didn't work, its UI was very good. And of course, we have Lovable coming out on top, best overall UI. It had some filtering working, and the job description page was really, really beautiful. So there you have it, everybody. Here are the results of our test for our one-shot directory prompt today. I do want to say I'm not knocking any of these companies. I think they all are doing amazing things in the AI coding space. It is truly an amazing time to be alive with access to all of these incredible tools. And I also want to say, don't judge each of these tools based off the prompt that I gave it today, because everyone has different results with different prompts for each of these tools. Probably tomorrow, if I give the same prompt to Replit and Tempo, it might generate a totally different UI, which is better than Bolt, Lovable, and V0. So this is just a test that I did for one specific prompt. I'm not saying any of these tools are better than each other. So the best way to find out which tool is best for you is just to try them all out as well. Let me know in the comments down below which AI coding tool that you thought was the best. And let me know if you want me to do more videos like this, where we compare different AI coding tools side by side by side. That's all I have for today. Happy coding, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.